On May the 13th, Rangers were presented with the League Championship trophy for an incredible 7th time in a row. It was a culmination of another difficult season for the team, with the almost constant spectre of injuries haunting Ibrox, and the squad being changed many times. After the previous season's early exit from Europe and a disappointing result in the Scottish Cup final, the team were determined to prove their domination of the League Championship. The lineup of the pre-season training squad showed Walter Smith's determination to build a team of international standing. With his recent signings of Basil Bowley and Brian Laudrup in an attempt to bring European experience to the team. Although the warm-ups seemed relaxed, the team were under extreme pressure to prepare themselves for the pre-season European fixture, which they had to win to qualify for the Champions League. But some established names in the squad had been offered for transfer, and they had to prove their worth to the manager.
Players will come and go, it's a conveyor belt with players will come and go, but the main thing, as long as Rangers win, that is the bottom line, no matter who's at the club. I think credit to the chairman and the manager for keeping the club going that way. There's always room for improvement, and I think there's no sentiment at the club. Decisions will be made, and they'll be made for the good of the club, and that's all that matters, as I found out last season.
Well, we thought we would need to make changes, and when you look at our squad overall, we knew we had to cut it down to leave space for other ones to come in, and we've done that. What we didn't envisage was the number of injuries we would have to the squad there. We're hoping that, like Ali McCoist, would come back after a year out from a broken leg and play consistently this season, and unfortunately it's not been that way.
However, Ali McCoist and Andy Goram were to feature in the pre-season tournament at Ibrox between Sampdoria, Manchester United and Newcastle, which gave Rangers vital match experience before their challenge for a place in Europe.
Here's David Robertson taking on David Platt, who brings him down. Hately actually got free, but the ball didn't come his way. From Brian Laudrup, that's Laudrup's pass to McCoist. Hately goes in! Mark Hately scores for Rangers in the 4th minute. It's a chance here for Melly, well saved Goram. Ball from Ian Ferguson. McCoist has chased it with real gusto and real success. Hately going in, it's a chance for Laudrup. Oh, and Zenga stopped it once, hits the post. Hately, oh dear! He has missed it. But here comes Bertarelli. Melly. Oh, and again Goram gets to it, followed up by Bertarelli. And Goram, who has 1 or 2 points to prove in this part of the world, is beginning to do that emphatically. Laudrup. This is Trevor Stephen. 2-0 to Rangers. Giacobod. They're still in there battling for it. Bertarelli. And he scored. Just forced Laudrup a little wider than he would have wanted. Robertson. And it's crept wide.
The final score was 4-2 to Sampdoria, ending a disappointing night for Rangers. However, they still had a third-place playoff with Manchester United to savour the next day. It saw the first match in Rangers colours for Basil Bowley, but the team was changed completely from the previous game, with only Ali McCoist starting in both matches.
Ferguson did well, that's one of his great skills. Forcing me to hurry, and Ferguson very close indeed. Pressure remains on. Here's Moore. Inside is Murray. Durant. Under severe pressure there, winning that from Mickey Butt very well indeed. McCoist again, Ferguson rather, there's Bowley, and that would have brought the house down. There's Butt looking for Beckham, who's onside. Support arriving down the middle. United putting men forward in numbers. Davies can keep this in play. Moore did well with that clearance, turning defence into attack with one ball. This is McCoy, starts for Jury. Ferguson's in the middle. Durant supporting from midfield. Oh, and Davie scores! An own goal! There's Durant through the gap, it goes for McCoy. This could settle it for Rangers. And no luck at all for McCoy.
Although the tournament had provided a warm-up for the squad, they were still desperately short of competitive games before their crucial European tie. It was to take place in the seething cauldron of Athens.
Europe obviously caught us at a bad stage of our season without having kicked the league ball. Maybe the team in a bit of a transitional period as well. And we came up against a good team with AEK Athens.
Preliminary rounds of the European Cup are really, really difficult ones. If we look over a period of 3 years that we had to qualify there, the English teams who also had to qualify failed as well. Arsenal, Manchester United, Leeds United, all failed at the preliminary part of it. And it's a very difficult hurdle to overcome. In fact, the games against Lyngby and the games against Leeds United and the good year that we had were possibly as difficult matches as we faced at any time in the European Cup, with maybe the exception of the home game against Marseille. So they were very difficult and hard to overcome.
The return leg again brought disappointment to the Ibrox men when AEK scored a goal just before half-time. It was a defeat that the captain had to overcome, and he had to motivate his squad for the coming season.
I think the motivation comes very much from within the players. The manager has brought together a good bunch of players, but they've also got good professional pride.
The European one was a big disappointment to us, and I say to people there, we showed a couple of years ago that when we've got a team together, then we can compete at the highest level. Since that good season in Europe, we've never really had the team together playing. It's been affected by one thing of bringing in new players, losing other ones, injuries, and we've never had as strong a team as we could possibly have going out onto the pitch.
Well, it wasn't that disappointing for me because when I first heard that we were going to play a preliminary round against AEK Athens, I said, "Oh, that's one of the worst teams you could get in that round." So, and after just 4 weeks of preparation, we weren't up for it. We weren't ready. Because of new players coming in, because of the injured players we had. So unfortunately, that game came too early for us that season.
Before the first match of the league season, the now traditional flag unveiling took place before a packed Ibrox stadium. The match was Brian Laudrup's introduction to the Scottish game, and he displayed a style of play which was to become his trademark.
Good ball to Laudrup. Robertson's racing out of defence, in support. Laudrup getting away from Shannon there, now doing the same. A chance on for Murray. It's McPherson to Laudrup. He's popped up again on the right-hand side. Taking on McKinnon, floating in the cross. It's a good one, it's Heatley! And Heatley makes the breakthrough. Force it away to Laudrup. Running by Laudrup. There could be something on here. Duncan Ferguson stays left. Here's Ferguson! And Duncan Ferguson scores for Rangers! Brilliant play by Laudrup. Running forward, taking on defenders, picking out Ferguson. And Ferguson keeping a very cool head there, slotting the ball away.
However, the match was an unhappy one for Ali McCoist, who sustained an injury which was to keep him out for 6 weeks.
He's went through a horrendous 2 years since he's broken his leg. And when you think of the number of games he played for Rangers without missing a match in recent seasons. It's ironic to think that, you know, when we're looking for him to come back, and he himself is at a stage of his career where he needs to be playing, that he's been hit by injury.
After beating Arbroath 6-1 in the Coca-Cola Cup, Rangers met Partick Thistle in their first away game of the season, and they brought with them their usual standard of travelling support. Without his most successful striking partner, Mark Hateley had to adjust to Brian Laudrup's style of play. It was a partnership which was soon to bear fruit for the Ibrox team.
Tierney wins it. This is Laudrup. Oh, great play by Laudrup. Going all the way himself. It's a fine stop. There's Hateley. Wanted just enough there to stop the passage of the ball to Laudrup. Still in play. Here goes Laudrup again. Ferguson and Hateley up with him. It's a great ball across. There's Hateley! And that settles it! Food and drink for Mark Hateley. A delightful cross from the byline.
In their first game after the defeat in Europe, Rangers met Celtic at home. It was to be a bitter experience for the Ibrox team, who lost the match 2-0, with goals from a John Collins free kick and a second-half strike by Paul McStay. 4 days later, Rangers met Falkirk in the Coca-Cola Cup. They lost the match 2-1, which meant the end of their cup hopes. It was a devastating week for the club, in which they went out of Europe, lost to Celtic, and exited the Coca-Cola Cup. It had an effect on everyone at the club.
I think when you play against Celtic and get a result, it gives everybody a lift. You should never forget the importance of beating them. It's all right in the European Cups and all that, and the big cup games, but the Celtic games are one for the season. You can get one over on them, it's great. There's nothing worse than losing the game. But at the same time, it makes you realise and makes you appreciate the times when you do beat them.
And it's a hard thing to come out of. I mean, unless you're involved in it, you don't really realise the pressure that goes on other matches when you've got to come out with a victory. And after that week that we had where we didn't do so well, then, you know, they had to show a great deal of character, because, you know, they've got to come out and stand up and be counted at that stage. And they were.
A lot of people said then that in the press that the party was over for us. The team's too old, the team's needs changed, and the Rangers' run was over. But as a group, we made sure that that wouldn't be the case, and the only way we could stop the critics was to go out and win the championship.
Ball finding Laudrup. Hateley peels away from his markers. Comes in from the far post. Brilliant play by Mark Hateley. Seeing the face of Roberts, this could be an excellent partnership. That's a good cross. It's Jury. It's 3.
The performances that Rangers had displayed since the European exit showed everyone that they were still a dominant force in Scottish football. However, there were only 2 points clear of Hibs at the top of the table before travelling to Hampden to meet Celtic. It was to be a baptism of fire for Alan McLaren, recently signed from Hearts on a £1.3 million deal, which saw Dave McPherson leaving Ibrox. It was a game Rangers had to win to dispel their earlier disappointment of a home defeat by their ancient rivals.
Goal will be very important to Rangers this afternoon. That's a good ball. And Laudrup blocked there by McNally, so a corner after just 20 seconds. So Bolly has moved forward. Hateley's there as well with a header, and it's off the line by Collins. Little touch from Hateley. It's picked up by Boyd. It's caught by Charlie Miller. Through now for Hateley. Oh, that is a magnificent goal by Mark Hateley. 25 minutes gone. Terrific play by young Charlie Miller, winning the ball, sliding it through to Hateley, and what a tremendous finish. Can Celtic respond? Here comes McStay. He's blocked by McLaren. Still McStay battling away. Breaks to O'Donnell. This is Byrne. Flipping in the ball, but an easy one in the end for Andy Goram. This is Boyd for Celtic to Collins. Celtic hoping maybe they can get themselves a free kick just outside the box and let Collins in on it, but here's Boyd coming forward. Oh, and that's a tremendous goal! Free kick to Rangers, quickly taken. Played shot by McCall to Laudrup. Good ball through again for Robertson. It's Hateley! Oh, tremendous play by Rangers. What a stunning ball through by Laudrup to Robertson. The cross from Robertson, and Mark Hateley gets his second goal of the match. It's Celtic 1, Rangers 2. And here's a break on for Laudrup, showing tremendous pace. He's past the goalkeeper. A sensational goal by Laudrup. 65 minutes gone. Laudrup.
That victory over Celtic brought to an end 3 months of varying fortunes for the club, which forced Walter Smith to make changes in his squad. However, one player who was to stay was Andy Goram, who signed another 4-year contract, ending speculation of a rift between himself and the club. But £4 million striker Duncan Ferguson and Ian Durrant were sent to Everton for a loan period of 3 months for Ferguson and 1 month for Durrant. There were strong rumours that the stay would be permanent. Players who did leave the club permanently were Gary Stevens, who was sold to Tranmere Rovers for £350,000, and Stephen Presley, who joined Coventry City for £600,000. The confidence and ability of Brian Laudrup made him appear as if he had always played his football in Scotland. But for his continental colleague Basil Bowley, it took longer to settle in at Rangers.
Je crois que Brian,
yes,
par exemple,
no, it was easier for Brian Laudrup to settle in, for example. He already spoke English very well. But I got on well with Mark Hateley and Trevor Stephen because they both had played in France like me. But the club is very good, and the environment and the lifestyle is very good. The chairman is excellent. So I'm happy with my life here, and I'm satisfied with the whole experience.
Je suis satisfait, moi, de l'environnement, de tout ce que j'ai vu ici, de toute mon expérience.
Basil's always been played as a man marker in his European role, and to come into a team where you're playing, which we have for the last 6-7 years, which has been a flat back four, it has been difficult, for him and for obviously other people to get used to the way Basil plays as well. So that's been, that has been difficult. But to be fair to Basil, he stood up well and handled the challenge well. And again, although we've come in for a lot of criticism as a defence, I think we've got the best defensive record in the league.
The league continued with a home tie against Partick Thistle, and the Rangers fans were glad to welcome the return of Ian Durrant after his transfer to Everton did not materialise. Again, Brian Laudrup was to show his worth with a fine solo effort on goal in the 49th minute. Young Charlie Miller continued to show great potential by netting the second goal from a Brian Laudrup cross. Ian Durrant started the move that saw brilliant skills from Brian Laudrup before he crossed to Mark Hateley, who relished such an opportunity. After 2 disappointing draws against Hearts and Falkirk, Rangers met Aberdeen, who were struggling at the bottom of the league. It was to be a rare appearance for the recently honoured Ali McCoist, MBE, who was continuing his comeback from injury. The tie saw him score the only goal of the match, giving the fans a glimpse of the potential of a McCoist-Laudrup partnership. Ivan Golak had proved yet again that his match predictions were slightly optimistic, as Rangers dominated the Dundee United tie. It saw the return of captain Richard Gough in a new defensive lineup, including Stuart McCall wearing the number 2 shirt for the first time that season. Up front, Peter Houstra was hoping to continue his goal-scoring performance against the Tannadice team.
This is Houstra. Through for McCoist. Jury, good running by Jury. Tremendous pace by Jury. This is Laudrup. Nice first touch from McCoist to Jury. Houstra's in the middle. McCoist's arriving. Laudrup's there as well. Still it's Laudrup. Great skills again by him. Oh, marvellous goal by Laudrup. Fantastic skills from Laudrup. Stepping away from 2 defenders and sending an unstoppable shot past Callum O'Hanlon. Houstra's dropped a bit deeper, but Bolly was there to challenge him. It's played through by Miller to McCoist. Still it's McCoist trying the shot, and a good effort that was too.
Sadly, injury struck Ali McCoist yet again. Just before half-time, he had to be replaced by Ian Durrant, and it was to be the last time Rangers fans would see him start a match that season.
The free kick to Rangers taken by Durrant. The goal is well forward. This is Houstra. Oh, magnificent goal by Peter Houstra. He strikes again after 52 minutes, and another splendid solo goal. Played off by Bowman. Well, there's no doubt that with Rangers' nearest challengers both drawing yesterday, Rangers doing themselves and their championship hopes a lot of good here this afternoon. That's played through now for Ian Durrant. Magnificent! A great pass by Laudrup, and Ian Durrant makes it Dundee United 0, Rangers 3. Another delightful pass from Laudrup. Durrant running through and picking his spot.
Oh, that was, among more better performances this season. Terrific. I mean, we never gave him a sniff from the start of the game to the finish. Ivan Golak had added a wee bit of spice there by, as he usually did, to stating that he was going to beat Rangers 4-0. So it was a pleasing result for us to go up and play so well.
That was a great performance. When Brian Laudrup taught him a bit Saturday for a change. Ian Durrant had an excellent game as well. Scored a good goal. Brian scored a great goal. And I think it was all round good team performance. And it was just around that time that we had put together 4 or 5 good results. And I think that was a time that we pulled away from the pack.
Beating Kilmarnock 2-1 away from home the following Saturday took Rangers 7 points clear at the top of the table. The next 2 games against Motherwell and Hibs were crucial, but injury had claimed goalkeeper Andy Goram yet again. Mark Hateley was to open the scoring against the third-place side with a great move involving Peter Houstra. Captain Richard Gough sealed the game with a splendid header. Despite scoring in that match, Mark Hateley was taken off injured. It was again a frustrating time for the club's top scorer.
Yeah, it's never nice to get injured. It was an injury that I've never had before. It was an untreatable sort of injury. It was a deep-lying pelvic injury that was basically couldn't do anything. Couldn't be treated. It was just rest, and that's the worst diagnosis I could have got, to rest, because I'm a very irritable, sort of up all the time sort of person, and it was one of those things where you wake up in the morning, it's not right, and you come in and you go home, and then you wake up the next morning and it's the same, and it's a long drawn out thing. It's not like when you get a kick and you can see the bruising coming out, or you can see a scar or something like that, and you're getting better. But this was just a thing that was deep lying, which just was time.
The number 10 jersey was worn by young Craig Moore, who'd returned from injury for the vital match against Motherwell. If Rangers won, they would stretch their lead to 10 points, which would give them a tremendous psychological advantage over the nearest rivals. It was Stuart McCall who ran the length of the pitch to open the scoring, leaving the Motherwell defence flat-footed. Motherwell desperately fought back in the second half and scored after McCrillen was put through by Sean McSkimming. Brian Laudrup scored one of his most unusual but important goals after displaying his now familiar close ball control. It was left to Gordon Durie to finish off Motherwell's hopes with a brilliant defence-splitting run. For Stuart McCall in particular, it was a memorable result.
It was my first league goal. I was getting a wee bit of stick for it, for not scoring that year. And I think it was some odds at 28 to 1. So I felt a wee bit lucky. I thought, I'm going to score sometime. So a couple of my pals had, 20 pence from me or something, and fortunately got the first goal. And we went on, and it was a great result for us because Motherwell were, close on his heels. And I think, that result was very important for us. And a great game to play in, and obviously the celebrations, because it was New Year's Eve, we carried on for a few days.
Motherwell were probably, if anything, put off by that one, and as much as I think they realised how difficult it is to maintain a standard to win a league championship. And after we beat them in that game and opened up a little bit of a gap, they've never managed to get back to us on that one. And I think, when people say that Rangers are easy winners of the league championship, if you ask Motherwell, they've been chasing us for a couple of years now, they realise how difficult it is. If you ask the teams like Aberdeen and like Hearts, who had been chasing us in previous seasons, how they feel about it, they'll tell you how hard it is. But that game was a significant one because I think it knocked the stuffing out of Motherwell for the rest of the season.
The traditional New Year match against Celtic had been switched to a nighttime fixture on the 4th of January. Ian Ferguson made a comeback from injury, starting his first match since September. If Rangers continued their run of 9 games unbeaten, they would open a gap of 20 points over Celtic.
And it'll break here for Laudrup. He's in on goal for Rangers. And there's the tactical briefing. McCall. Well, Miller could get in here. Ferguson does. Ian Ferguson against the run of play in truth, but Rangers lead. Collins with a cross. Oh, a marvellous goal by Byrne. Collins. McLaren, and that's a better ball, particularly as it's found Laudrup. Durie with him. Durant trying to join in as well, but it's Gordon Durie who's been played forward here for Rangers. And Bonner now has to make a save. McStay. Oh, that's a stray one. Here's Peter Houstra for Rangers. Supported by Robertson. Brown had gone to the near post. Rangers still have it with Laudrup. Oh, and Bonner's lost it. And he saves the second time. Celtic still haven't got it away. It's Laudrup again. Celtic confusion. And it's a corner.
Despite continued pressure from Rangers, the match remained at 1 each, but it stretched their lead at the top of the Premier League to 11 points. Earlier in the match, Ibrox witnessed the return of Rangers stalwart John Brown. It was fitting that he should make his return in an Old Firm clash, which he relishes so much. It meant the end of an injury nightmare that had kept him out since August.
Ended last season having to get an operation. Started this season not 100% and had to get another one. So getting over that, then try to get your fitness back to a level that you could get back into the team was frustrating.
It was ironic that John was again substitute when he scored the goal which he considers to be the most memorable of his career.
John Brown's in the middle. Alstra on the left, McCoy's in the inside right position. Here's Brown going all the way himself. That settles it! John Brown ends the match in a contest with that rifling left-foot shot.
That was me coming back the following season from the Achilles and just getting back into the swing of things and going to Parkhead New Year's Day. And I had a mate over from South Africa who was up the Rangers end, and my dad, my brother, and I scored a few for Dundee against Celtic, but to do it for Rangers against Celtic, especially at Parkhead, and even though I was only on the park for 10 minutes, the best 10 minutes of my life, I think.
Since joining the club in 1988, John has been the epitome of the committed Rangers player. When the often overworked phrase "playing for the jersey" is used, the name John Brown immediately springs to mind.
Well, years ago, Rangers had John Greig as a captain, the typical Rangers player. Really good player, great attitude towards it, and the old-fashioned bit of playing for the jersey always comes to the fore when you mention John Greig. John Brown comes into that category. Since he's been at Rangers, that is what he's been. Really good professional player, turns in a performance every time you ask him to go out onto the pitch. He's die-hard Rangers man, and you can pay him no higher tribute than that.
And he's in character very early. I mean, he's first here and he's chomping around, getting his angry head on. But that's John. I mean, he's always been like that. You know, John's got a good ability. He's got a great first touch. You know, passes the ball well, and he's comfortable on the ball. You know, I don't think people give him credit for that sort of side of his game. I mean, they think John is a, centre half that humps people up in the air all the time. You know, winning the ball in the air. But there's a lot more to his game.
Nice for this corner. Oh, marvellous goal by John Brown.
Away from the trials of football, John finds great comfort in his home life, with wife Diane and children Lauren and Megan. It provides an escape from the pressures of a top-class player.
We could measure Ian Ferguson's nose. What? No, it's not long enough.
There's pressure, but it's something you thrive on, I think. I think everybody that's at Rangers would go along with that, and it's something that you had to learn, and moving there, you realise that you have to be successful. But the pressures, you don't mind that, especially being at the club that is Rangers, and you know what you're going to have to put up with.
Who's your favourite player at Ibrox, Lauren? Is it Super Ali?
No, it's John Brown.
Oh, what a shot.
There was anxiety in April of that year for John and his family, when his eldest daughter Lauren was diagnosed as having a heart problem. Naturally, this was a time of worry for all of them.
You've got a love for the club, but when it's one of your own that has got a problem, has to get a fairly big operation, then it's a worrying time, and football's forgotten, totally forgotten. You're just constantly worrying about getting it over with and getting her back to health. And she's just bounced back, If it was an adult, they would still be lying in the hospital bed complaining, but within 2 or 3 days she's desperate to get up and play with the toys, and she was more concerned about her wobbly tooth coming out.
John had always said that he would never play for another club. Nevertheless, like all players as he neared the end of his contract, his future was uncertain.
Players, when they come to the end of their contracts, I wouldn't say careers, but I feel as though I've still got a bit left, that you're always wondering where do you go.
The departure of youth coach Billy Kirkwood to Dundee United left a position vacant which John Brown was only too eager to fill.
It's a great opportunity to start out at such a big club, and still being at the club you want to work for, and it's up to me to prove that I can cope with it, and one thing's for sure, I'll give it my best.
It is fitting that a player with John's dedication and love of Rangers should remain at Ibrox, where his experience of top-level football can now benefit the future of the club. The second match of 1995 saw Rangers travel to Firhill, but the match meant agony for Andy Goram, who, making a comeback from injury, had to be taken off after only 30 minutes. His injury meant that he would not play again that season. It was a worrying time for Walter Smith, who suddenly found his team again struggling against injury.
Both Archie and myself were sitting down saying, well, the team's bedded in now. I wish we were just starting our season at that period, and then all of a sudden we get a hell of a run of injuries again, including Mark Haitley, who we already have Ali McCoist out left us really short up front, Gordon Dury, a couple of injuries. So we faced another difficult spell.
An added complication was the departure of Peter Hustra to Sanfrecce Hiroshima of Japan. But he was determined to make his 15th consecutive and final match for the club one to remember. His first goal came from a penalty after Charlie Miller was fouled in the box, but Falkirk fought back in the second half with 2 goals in 2 minutes. But with typical Rangers grit, they recovered with goals from Hustra and captain Stuart McCall. Rangers' next opponents, Hearts, were to discover that although under strength, Rangers were not to be taken lightly, especially with the talents of Laudrup and young Charlie Miller to contend with.
Well, here's a chance on for Rangers. Charlie Miller scores after just a minute of this game.
People say to me that Charlie Miller got in because of injury, but he got in because of his performances in the team. And okay, you know, injuries allowed him in, and maybe injuries to the squad as a player have meant we've played him far more often than I would maybe have liked in his first season.
He was a good player, you know, a couple of years back. I mean, it was just bringing him on and picking the right time to bring him in. And I think if all was fair on him this year, I think he would have been rested a little bit more if the players had been fit. But all due to Charlie, I mean, he's got great ability and a lot of potential.
At 18, he's played over 20 games for us in the first team this season and played in a team that's won a league championship. So he's proved that he can come in and be a winner as well. And I think everybody at Rangers is looking for him to improve his performances over a year, and I'm certain that he's got the capability to do that.
Continuing injury problems brought new blood to Ibrox in the form of Gary Boland and Alex Cleland. Both were signed from Dundee United for £750,000. However, with the next round of the Scottish Cup looming, it was almost impossible for Walter Smith to pick the same team each week. This meant that most of the squad were asked to play in unfamiliar positions.
I think the manager has used something like 31 or 32 players in the Premier League, which is far too many. I can just think in the back four alone that, you know, I don't think we've played the same back four, you know, 2 games running.
Week in, week out, it'd be nice to play the same side or almost the same side, and it's not just been the players missing, it's been players have been playing all out of position. I mean, Alan McLaren, for example, has been filled in at right back a lot, and you know, players all over.
The lack of a settled side due to injury finally took its toll in February when Rangers lost to Hearts in the 4th round of the Scottish Cup. Again, the team had to lift themselves to continue the League Championship challenge and secure their 7th title in a row. Unfortunately for Kilmarnock, Rangers showed again that they were at their most dangerous when under pressure. In the tie against third-placed Hibernian, a viral infection meant that Brian Laudrup joined David Robertson on the casualty list. To add to the manager's problems, Charlie Miller was suspended and Mark Hateley was still not fit. Despite having to field a makeshift team, Rangers dominated the match, which they were unlucky not to win.
Boldy quickly to the ball against Wright. Awkwardness for Tweed, under pressure from Jury. He hit the post. Jury. Great save from Leighton. Murray kept it in play for Jury. A bit of wrestling there by Jury. Well, there's no infringement given there. Here's Jury. Still good play by Jury, and Rangers have scored. It's McCall. Excellent play on the right by Dalton Jury.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's my sad duty to inform you that Davie Cooper died this morning. He collapsed yesterday morning with a massive brain hemorrhage. And was
On the 23rd of March, the whole country was stunned when the death of Davie Cooper was announced. The news was met by disbelief and shock, not only in the football community, but throughout the whole of society. Gate number 11 was transformed into a shrine, which conveyed the depth of respect that Davie was held in, not only at Ibrox, but in all corners of the football world.
I signed for Rangers when I was 9 years of age, and I played a lot of football myself and always wanted to be Davie Cooper. A bit of me died when obviously Davie died yesterday. He's just my hero.
A tragic loss, you know. I mean, for somebody so fit and everything, just to go like that, you know, it makes you wonder what the hell God's playing at.
Although the shock of Davie's death caused great sadness amongst all football fans, they will always remember the happiness and excitement he brought them when he displayed his great talents as a player.
Roberts is dictating things. That's brilliantly stopped by Davie Cooper.
One of the ones that has been seen often before is the goal he made for Robert Fleck in the UEFA competition against Tampere of Finland, where he beats 4 or 5 players and a couple of them twice. And the great thing that nobody picks up on really, that I watch and I take great delight in it, is when he rolls the ball to wee Flecky. Wee Flecky he's not even hit the ball in the back of the net, and coops away like that to the fans, as if to say, you know, I've done my bit, you Flecky just finished that off, oh, I'm away to the fans. And it was an amazing piece.
Davie's incredible career has been well documented both in video and on television. But away from the spotlight of football, he was a quiet and unassuming man.
What you saw with Davie is what you got. I mean, there was no airs and graces. He was just a man that came from a wee place in Hamilton. He loved his neighbours. He still went back there to see his mum and dad, and he had the same pals.
He was a very, very, very shy and introverted man at times, but I mean, that didn't take anything away from how much they gave out to people. I think he did an awful lot of charity work which went unknown, and it's sometimes difficult to handle kids, but Davie was superb at that, and he always had time for the kids, and then paid a lot of visits to kids in hospital and stuff like that. And obviously they all loved Davie Cooper, and Davie loved them, and it was great to watch. If I could say that I've learned anything of Davie off the park, it was certainly how to handle myself with people, because he was very, very good with people.
Come on, man. Pass it to someone. Oh, the cameraman.
Davie's unflagging contribution to charity was honoured by the Variety Club, but as usual, he kept his feet firmly on the ground.
We could not have had this evening or raised as much money without the help of Davie Cooper. We salute him as a professional footballer and as a human being. And on behalf of all of us at Variety Club, we would like to make a small presentation and wish you all the very, very best for the future.
Most people will know I'm quite shy and quiet, and I don't like speaking in these functions, but tonight as I was coming in, I got to the far side there and I was introduced, and I got very nervous as I came up to the back door and my name was announced, and I followed the piper right through the hall, through all the tables, and I really began to get quite emotional, and it all got brought back into perspective tonight when McCoy hit me in the head with a bread roll.
I mean, the gates at Ibrox, I came up to see 6 or 7 or 8 or 9 times, 10 times, I don't know how many times I came up, because I just couldn't believe it. And it's great to think that maybe in losing Davie, if we can cross some of the divides and get some of the nonsense out of football, and maybe football should be appreciative of what it should be, and that's bringing people together. If it's anything good at all, which I still find it difficult if I'm saying anything good to come out of his death, it's the fact that he brought the nation together in a way that no other man could ever have done, I don't think. And it broke my heart. It still breaks my heart thinking about it, but it's just one of these things that you've got to pick yourself up and go on with it, and Davie would want that.
Davie Cooper should be remembered not only as a gifted footballer who entertained and brought happiness to thousands of people, but also as a humble and caring man who loved his family and country and did not seek the limelight and riches associated with fame. Football and the world is a far poorer place without him.
So Jury and Laudrup kick off in a match with two sides with much to prove. United just one win in the last 6 games, and here come Rangers right away, and it's gone in, and it's Jury. The most sensational start here at Tannadice. 11 seconds gone. Rangers take the lead.
I don't class myself as a striker anyway, or goal scorer sort of thing, so there was a bit of pressure the 3 or 4 weeks that I had, but I managed to get 3 or 4 goals in the time. It's not really my game to play up there myself, but I had to do it, and we managed to get a few victories in that time, which was good.
It's McLaren heading at one. Oh, it's a magnificent shot! What a stunning goal! And it was a quite awesome shot.
At Tannadice, Rangers showed the confidence of a championship-winning team. But their next tie was against Aberdeen, who were fighting desperately to remain in the Premier League. The match also saw the return of Mark Hateley from injury, and again he would prove to be the downfall of the Dons.
This is Heatherstone. He's shot with that one. Charlie Miller comes in, does well against Stephen Wright. He's got Laudrup running through the middle. Aberdeen chasing back here. Still it's Miller. Through for Laudrup. Great play by Laudrup. It's Miller. In comes Durant. And Rangers take the lead. They played it through to Laudrup. A delightful touch there, beckoned towards Miller. It looked as though the chance was gone, but in came Durant at the far post to slide the ball past the goalkeeper. Stringing the passes together. Brown playing it through, looking for Miller. Still it's Charlie Miller, getting in the cross, a touch from Hateley, here comes Laudrup. Brilliant play, 2-0 to Rangers, Neil Murray. 24 minutes gone, and again, tremendous vision by Brian Laudrup. And he just created the space for Neil Murray. In comes McKimmie. Now it's Shearer driving it across, the chance on for Aberdeen. And Dodds pulls one back. Switch back out to Dodds. Brent gets in the cross, it's Shearer! And Aberdeen have done it! This is Cleland. Laudrup. Laudrup was involved in both of Rangers' goals, in the setting up of them. Can he conjure up something else here? Good skills again. Cleland, that ball takes a deflection. Hateley! It's gone in! Mark Hateley does it again for Rangers. comeback man scores again against the Dons.
Only the mathematical possibility of Celtic beating Aberdeen prohibited Rangers from celebrating the championship that day. But the following Sunday, when Rangers met Hibs, they emerged as champions after Aberdeen had been victorious the previous day. Rangers were to display the type of football that made them worthy champions for the 7th time in a row.
The corner's quickly taken, it's with Laudrup. And Rangers took the lead through Gordon Jury. A simple goal in the end. And here's Laudrup, twisting and turning. Oh, he's left Mitchell for dead there. He provides a cross, it's Hateley. This is Durant, floating the high one in. Leighton in two minds there. It's Cleland off the base of the post. It's Michael O'Neill and Darren Jackson hovering. It's played to O'Neill. Oh, that's a magnificent goal! So it's Laudrup who swings in the corner. And it's Richard Gough who got in the header. Played through towards Gareth Evans. It's not a good ball though. Easily cut out by Cleland. Now it's Mikhailichenko through to Charlie Miller. Cleland's kept his run going. Miller goes with him. This is Mikhailichenko. Laudrup's in a fair bit of space here. It's Laudrup. It's Mikhailichenko. It's a fantastic save by Jim Leighton. Switch of play out to Laudrup. He glides away from McGinley, glides away from O'Neill. Trevor Stephen is out on the right-hand side. He plays it through there for Charlie Miller. It's Mark Hateley. I
was really disappointed that we were sitting going into the last 5 minutes at one each, because I felt we had played really well. We had missed really good chances. Hibs had scored for probably one of the few shots of the game, and we were sitting at 1-1. And it was disappointing that we wouldn't give a crowd something to shout about, and then Ian Durant and Charlie Miller conjured up a great goal.
So just under 4 minutes left. 1 goal apiece. This is Durant. Great play by Ian Durant. A marvellous goal by Ian Durant. Ran onto the return pass, picked his spot beyond Jim Leighton. In this era when Rangers are spending so much money on so many players, it's tremendous to see youngsters still breaking through. And here comes Laudrup now. Rangers going in for the kill. It's Laudrup again, finding Mikhailichenko. Laudrup runs on the outside of him, still it's Mikhailichenko! Oh, it's magnificent! It's Rangers 3, Hibernian 1. Just look at the skill of Mikhailichenko. He sold the little dummy there, and he drove the ball past Jim Leighton. Well, there's absolute bedlam here. This is Jackson. It's all about consolation for Hibs now. And there goes the final whistle.
It was fitting that Rangers should celebrate winning the league championship with such an emphatic victory. After a very difficult season, the sense of achievement felt by the management and players was as great as any league-winning side. The celebrations were to continue long after the final whistle.
There was a great atmosphere, and I think the supporters showed at the end of that game that even though it's the 7th one, it means every bit as much to them when we're winning it as it does any other one we've had.
Well done, chap. Checks for the champagne. Good stuff, son. Well done, boys.
In a season of many highlights, one player who made an unforgettable debut was Dane Brian Laudrup, who brought style, pace and flair to the Ibrox attack. His style of play suited Walter Smith's plans for him, unlike the oppressive tactical system which Brian played under in Italy.
He had seen a number of games where I played in the national team, and he saw the way I should be playing. So that was important to me as well, that when I spoke to Walter about it in the beginning of the season, that he would be able to give me that free role. And he gave me it, and I think I have responded in the right way by performing well.
He's a different type of player. I mean, when he plays up front with Mark Hateley or Gordon Jury or Ali McCoy for that matter, they took a wee bit of getting used to him a little bit in the way that he plays, and he drifts into the wider areas of the pitch and he goes dribbling and sets up goals and sets up things. So it took a wee while for the team to get used to the way he played, but even while he was bedding himself in and the other players were getting used to that, he was turning in some sparkling performances and some great goals.
Laudrup, he's got McCoy's, he's got Hateley on the right. He decides to go it alone. Brilliant play by Laudrup! Oh, magnificent goal! A magnificent goal! Here's a break on for Laudrup. Showing tremendous pace, he's past the goalkeeper! A sensational goal by Laudrup!
He's been a joy to watch, from the back anyway. Because every time he picks up the ball and he's beating people, I just think to myself, I'm just glad he's on my side, and I'm not trying to stop him myself.
He can't head a ball and he can't tackle, but apart from that, he's all right. Well, he's the quickest thing I've ever seen with the ball at his feet. People know what he's going to do, but they can't stop it. Sheds a coup, really. It's the biggest compliment you can pay to the boy.
He's got everything. You look at him in training, you think, how do you get the ball off him? And it's when you have to hit him over the head with a forehammer, I think. So, and even at that, you can't get near him with a forehammer.
Right, I'll go again. Go, give it a try, I can't get near him, go tackle, go try and tackle it. Hey, Marek.
This is Laudrup. Nice first touch from McCoy's to Jury. House is in the middle. McCoy's arriving. Laudrup's there as well. Still it's Laudrup. Great skills again by him. Oh, marvellous goal by Laudrup. Fantastic skills from Laudrup. Stepping away from two defenders and sending an unstoppable shot past Kellam O'Hanlon.
Brian's experience has been a happy one for him, and like the rest of the team, he is very optimistic for the future.
And this is really a club with ambitions and of course the money as well, because that's what you need in these days to be successful in Europe. If some of the players that they have mentioned are coming in, it looks very, very good for the future, and we all hope that we will be able to make some good results in Europe next season.
Absolute brilliance from the Rangers player, and what a wonderful finish.
The final match of the season against Partick Thistle saw Rangers presented with the league trophy. Again, Ibrox was the scene of great celebrations for both the fans and team. It was a time for Walter Smith to reflect on a season which had many difficulties for the Ibrox men.
I think it's a great achievement. I don't think people fully appreciate it. Once you start to get into a situation where your favourites before the ball's been kicked at the start of the season and you eventually end up winning it, people start to just say, oh, well, it's just a matter of course, the Rangers will do that. And it's never like that. It's always difficult from within. And I mean, Celtic's achievement in 9 championships are always a great one. And we're trying to emulate that, if no better. So, it's a difficult path. And we're now, I think we can say we're within touch and distance here, and I'm hoping it's something that'll be a big motivation for our own club to go for that 9, and maybe even better, as we say.
Same place next year. This is the place to be. 8 in a row.
All Rangers fans are eagerly anticipating the start of season 95-96. The club will continue to try to bring players of the calibre of Paul Gascoigne to Ibrox. The future looks certain to bring an even greater degree of dominance and success to Glasgow Rangers.